Ladies and gentlemen, were you aware that these are in fact the end times? In the Week 1 mod, we see a bustling Kentucky full of hardworking taxpayers as they slowly descend into the anarchist lifestyle as the dead begin to take their place as the new dominant species. Our protagonist, Steel Burglarson, son of Rob Burglarson,
it's a very common name, I know like 4 people with that name,
is a man cast out by society for preying upon the unsuspecting homeowner. Thankfully, he will not have to worry about that much longer.
I'm gonna steal your stuff.
Our story begins in the Worcestershire sauce of Project Zomboid. An unassuming Steel Burglarson watches his weekly runtime of Rebecca Black's Friday as he takes inventory of his personal belongings for the first time since puberty. After rummaging through garbage and vandalizing his neighbor's property, he took up his father's noble struggle in buying milk from the corner store. Alas, he too, like his father before him, was unsuccessful, though unlike the late Burglarson, he returned home after completing his daily errands. Opting for the minimalist lifestyle, we see a wary Burglarson do away with his worldly possessions, using the materials gained to barricade his home in the event of low-income housing, earning himself a nappy poo after a hard day's work. Moving into Saturday, Steel Burglarson did what he does best. He stole and burgled the gas and go before making a swift exit to the hit vids down the road. With dreams of learning how to better play with his wood, he left with several woodcraft tapes to jack off. He then gets punched in the dick for trying to steal seeds from the local station worker before making a hasty escape as to not alert the nearby authorities. After wrapping his willy, he then takes out his frustration on the local workforce, driving a compact through a warehouse and robbing them in broad daylight. Afflicted with dirty and a tummy ache, Steel Burglarson returns home with a bounty of materials. The day's effort secured him with a hiking bag and a solid set of weapons and other essentials. Should the metaphorical poo-poo hit the fan, our pretty boy can find himself a new goon cave at a moment's notice. Awakening to an uninvited guest attempting to penetrate his back door, Steel Burglarson quickly dispatches the hooligan before looting his dead corpse.
I like your cut, G.
NANI? A few moments later.
With Sunday now in full stroke, Steel Burglarson returns to the scene of the prior day's robbery. After securing any leftover morsels, our boy returns home to take inventory yet again. Plotting an early relocation to a more secure residence, he rests in his home one more night before putting everything he owns in the box to the left. Recalling his scripted dreams foretelling the impending doom yet to come, Steel Burglarson is full of resolve. Metaphorically assaulting pavement, he sets off for the small city of Jametown as to take advantage of the military surplus store. One lack of navigational skill later, he arrives at his destination. Deciding to secure his base of operation first and foremost, Steel Burglarson burgles yet again. Bringing social justice to those who would dare to commit tax fraud, our boy repossesses the property, giving the residents a brand new sense of freedom. After disposing of the evidence, we see a secure Burglarson having acquired a much more defendable safe house. Like the gooner he is, he starts storing all of his treasured possessions in the basement he doesn't pay for. While organizing his new debauchery den, he hears a suspicious noise coming from the surface. A hooligan had set fire to his front lawn. Having worked through the night, Burglarson was still exhausted from edging his sleep schedule. After eliminating the threat, our boy earned a much-needed rest, placing a recliner in the basement below. Only there is no rest for that of the weary, and Burglarson instead dismantles the furniture in order to barricade his new home. After securing and looting the remainder of the house, he then catches some snoozy pies downstairs. And I realized that I could have corrected the narration, but I didn't particularly feel like it. Now leaving his humble abode in search of American craftsmanship, Steel Burglarson makes his way to the military surplus store. He procures some fine goods that will no doubt serve him in the upcoming days, though unfortunately the back room full of precious pew-pews was still inaccessible. Accepting defeat, Burglarson returns home with his groceries, dumping everything on the floor to sort with locked doors. He cooks himself a hearty meal as to recover from recent events, nothing but meaty meat for his eager facehole. Steel Burglarson, concerned with the world around him, finds that he should leave something behind in the event that he meets an untimely end. He writes down his will, now decorating his dwelling. Should such a situation arise, Steel Burglarson rests assured that he will not be forgotten, and with a certain sense of peace of mind, Burglarson dozes off for the night. Uh-oh. A sound familiar to every Project Zomboid player is that of the lingering undead. Awaking to his first sight of the world yet to come, Steel Burglarson must defend his home from the animated corpses of his fallen foes.
Makes sense. No. Shit.
After dispatching the shambling deviants, Burglarson retreats back into the basement to catch a broadcast of his store-brand radio. Unknown to him, this would be the final message from those who were trusted to contain the virus. He then begins removing the recycled corpses as to not suffer from the smell emanating from them. Exhausted from the disposal of the dead weight, Burglarson has a well-deserved meal and rest. After regaining his stamina, our boy sets out for the surplus store yet again, in hopes that the back room may be accessible. He encounters more of the dead upon arrival, dispatching them without hesitation. The sirens blare overhead, and Burglarson knows something is coming. He returns home without checking the surplus store, with the feeling that the inevitable end is coming. Having to defend his home from looters upon arrival, Burglarson reaches a realization that action must be taken. Civilization at the breaking point, Burglarson dispatches foes, human and zombie alike. Barricading his home yet again, our boy prepares an escape rope and retreats into his basement for what will become the final time. His dreams telling the fate to come, Burglarson knows what he must do. Leaving one final note, Stu Burglarson descends from his sheet rope, making his way to the two-door compact that has been with him since the beginning. Firebombs and gunfire attempting to impede his escape, our boy manages to evade the threat and drive off into the early morning. Making his way in the direction of Rosewood, Burglarson veers off into an unmarked path that would lead him to his final destination. A road difficult to navigate in daylight makes for an increasingly more difficult journey in the dark. Passing undead and survivors alike, Burglarson reaches his destination, only to be met with the odds ever so stacked against him. He attempts to create a diversion to lure the dead away from the entrance, ultimately failing in this effect. With little time and options, Burglarson makes a mad dash for the entrance. The window impeding his path, he attempts to break in for his entry, but alas, seals his fate in the process. Stu Burglarson had burgled his final building, only to enter the shell of a man who tried to change the course of humanity's final days. The bombs fell only hours later, humanity with it, leaving only the dead remaining to walk the ever-empty streets of Kentucky. So, this video was a absolute to edit, but if you liked it, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I will continue making more of this type of content, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Anyway, thanks. Bye.